What's up guys, Heat King here, bringing you another live reaction to this month's Attack on Titan, chapter 122, the final chapter of volume 30. Now, I didn't upload my reactions to chapters 120 and 121. Now, I did record them, I did edit them, I just didn't end up uploading them, and obviously the last thing I actually did was edit my final footage for my reaction for chapter 121, and then obviously the coffee spill accident happened and I pretty much lost all the footage because I usually don't back those footage up. Once I edited, I usually upload it straight away, but in this case I was kind of being lazy because I was kind of busy in that, and I just thought, you know what, I'll wait until the next chapter comes out and then I'll just upload 2 instead of just 1, right? That didn't happen, so yeah, I lost my reaction to that, and yeah, there was no point reacting to those chapters again because it defeats the purpose of a reaction like this when you're reading for the first time. But I do need to recap what happened. So chapter 120, obviously Zeke ended up catching Aaron's head, and we ended up going into the Paths dimension, where Zeke pretty much explained that his mind or whatever had been there for years, hundreds of years I think, waiting for Eren to sort of appear or to regenerate at that point. And finally he got to meet with his brother and they finally got to talk, and Zeke went ahead to try and rescue his brother from his father's lies. And it was sort of a it was kind of a reversal really, because what happened instead was, as we went through the chapter and we saw Grisha's memories of how he raised Eren, we saw that he was a much better father to Eren than he ever was with Zeke. And we even saw how Grisha ended up finding the church many years before the actual war came down, and he had a choice to either go and steal the coordinate, the founding titan, or to go and be with Carla and Eren, and he chose his family, you know, and he basically not doing the same mistake that he did with Zeke and Dina. And this kind of had a profound effect on Zeke, and we did get this sort of moment where Grisha did end up seeing future Zeke as he was and apologizing to him and telling him that he loved him and that. So obviously this was what ended up with Zeke trying to basically persuade Eren to his side, ended up becoming this role reversal of Eren sort of playing 4D chess with Zeke and turning the tactics on him instead. So instead of Eren being like, Zeke being like, look what kind of an asshole Grisha is, it turned into, hey look, Grisha was a cool dad, and look, he realized his mistakes and he loves you. Boom, there you go. And then we continued on with that aspect with chapter 121. Where we started seeing more memories from Grisha and that. But the biggest revelation in last month's chapter was the fact that we found out what the actual ability of the Attack Titan is. And I've actually theorized this and even said that this would probably be the case, and that's the fact that the Attack Titan has the ability to basically see the future, more or less. See, the founding Titan, if it has the ability to sort of connect people to the past, that the Attack Titan would be the opposite of that, right? And that is pretty much the case. Like, we basically found out that an Attack Titan shifter can pretty much see, I believe, the memories of a future Attack Titan shifter. So in a way, yeah, if you guys remember at the time when we were with Kruger and he was like, you need to save Mikasa and Armin, I believe he was seeing Grisha's memories at the time, and Grisha obviously now was sort of maybe perhaps seeing Eren's memories, perhaps. I'm not too sure about that. But what was revealed in an even bigger unexpected twist was the fact that Eren, with the power of the attack and founding Titan, I believe, was somehow basically able to send his consciousness to Grisha back in time, where he was confronting the Rice family. And yeah, he didn't want to kill those guys. He had a choice again, and he wasn't actually going to kill them. We always wondered what was up with that. I theorized that maybe Frida actually let Grisha defeat her and take the power, but no, that wasn't the case. What happened instead was that Eren came down there and basically came face to face with Dad and convinced him. He was right there next to him, sort of like a devil on his shoulders speaking to him, and he basically convinced him to take the founding Titan. So, and I believe Frida could even see Eren. So it was a very sort of unexpected, metaphorical, I don't even know what to call it, but it was just such a batshit insane moment. And Zeke obviously was there alongside Eren, seeing all of this and realizing that Eren is kind of responsible for a lot of the stuff that's happened. Like, future Eren basically is responsible for all the crap that led to past Eren becoming future Eren. Like, it's crazy how it just sort of comes back full circle. And by the end of the chapter, Zeke meets his dad again, and Grisha's pretty much telling Zeke he sees what Eren is planning to do, which is unleash the rumbling, and Grisha pretty much tells Zeke that he needs to stop Eren. And Zeke, having the royal blood that he does, he pretty much has this big connection to Ymir, who we do find out is that little girl with the pot that sort of healed him back previous volume ago. And yeah, he's pretty much given her the command to head into the light. This light that basically looks like the Tree of Life, Yangzudale, whatever you call that. Because I remember, guys, Attack on Titan is inspired by Norse mythology, so this basically is meant to be like a representation of the Tree of Life, or the World Tree, basically. This light, this power, and Ymir is heading straight towards that, and you've got Eren breaking loose from his chains, revealing that no, he's broken loose from those chains that tie him, that whole vow, the royal blood vow, and it's not tying Zeke down anymore. And Eren's the one that breaks free from it, and he's rushing to stop Ymir from listening to Zeke's commands, because he's the one royal blood, so he's pretty much telling him what to do. So it basically seems that Ymir is a slave to the royal bloodline, basically, and Eren is there to sort of stop that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next now with this chapter. And obviously there have been some spoilers already, which are very, very interesting, because apparently we're getting the origins of the Titans in this chapter, and it's going to be interesting to see what that means. So yeah, guys, let's get on with this chapter. I've done my my recap now, so let's get into it. It's going to be interesting to see where things are going to go, so let's get into my reaction. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. So here we go, guys. First page, and just to keep in mind, this is like an early translation, but some of it might be inaccurate, but oh well, that's just how it is. So first page already, and we're introduced to this little girl that I think does somewhat look like Historia, or Krista, if you will. What does ladylike mean? Yeah, it is a young Historia, I think. I think this is Frida when she was telling her the story. Well, being ladylike means something like being a young lady like this girl. So we're seeing that book. If you guys remember that book that Frida showed her, this was also sort of similar to the opening of season 2. Yeah, not the opening, the ending of season 2, where we kind of saw the image of the devil it was the devil, and he was facing who is supposed to be the original founder, the founder Ymir, and she's got the apple. And a lot of people always assume that the devil does look somewhat similar to Ymir, fake Ymir's Titan form, the Jaw Titan, or even Eren. Like, there's a lot of hints that sort of say that maybe this is Eren actually, being naked like this girl. So she's pointing at the girl, seeing the girl. You like this girl too, right, Historia? Yeah, because she's a kind girl who's always thinking of others. So yeah. And yeah, it looks like we are getting Ymir's backstory, I think. This is interesting. So, page 3, and we got a burning village, and there's these barbarian-like people with spears and swords, and it looks like they've captured a bunch of people, made them into slaves, and there's a little girl in between one of these men and women, because this world is full of pain and suffering. And now we're seeing another panel. They're pulling this guy's tongue out, and I think they're about to cut his tongue off. This is why you should live as someone every day. This is why you should live as someone everybody loves, who depends on others. So they're cutting off this dude's tongue, and we've got this little girl with the pot, and she's looking over, I think, at all the, I think at her people perhaps, or maybe, I don't know what's going on here. We don't really see our eyes, they're sort of blacked out, if you will. So yeah, this is the chapter title, chapter 122, From You, 2,000 years ago. Holy shit! What was the title of chapter 1? 2,000 to you, wasn't it? To you, 2,000 years ago, I think. Wait, I need to check this out, because I need to confirm what the title of chapter 1 was. Because holy shit, this is basically a full circle full circle arc basically, like Isayama, man. Isayama showing us again how he had this all planned from the get-go, and just, yeah, and just blowing our minds. The original chapter 1 title was called To You 2000 Years From Now, and now we're on chapter 122 and it's called From You 2000 Years Ago. So this is crazy, guys. Like, this is just absolutely nuts. And yeah, we're seeing what I assume is young Ymir. She's looking at these people. I believe these people who we just saw previously, the barbarians, and they're celebrating. They almost got this sort of Viking look to it because they've got these horns, and it looks like they're drinking horns in it. So I'm getting this sort of Viking feel from them. So again, with the Norse mythology aspect, and whom others can depend on. Underneath this world full of pain and suffering exists another world with light, which light cannot reach. So these guys are celebrating, and it looks like they're celebrating a wedding because there's this dude and he's kissing this woman. She's got a crown of flowers on her head. Page 5. Okay, we're on this house now. This dude's sitting in a chair in front of the door, and there's these bodyguards, 2 with spears, 1 with a sword sitting down, another one with an axe sitting down on the other side, and there's all these people in raggy clothes in front of him. Name yourself. If you don't do it, everybody's getting one of their eyes gouged out. Slaves don't need 2 eyeballs. Wow, man, what I assume this is their king, perhaps, but yeah, it looks like these are slaves. These guys burnt down their village and then they took these people as slaves, and it looks like Ymir might be one of these people. She's a slave basically, but the question is, are these Eldians or are these Marleans? So yeah, it's crazy. So there is someone. Okay, this is a bit weird. Is the translation different? Right, I didn't read the top part, sorry. There is someone among you who set the pigs free. Right, so someone set the pigs free. Name yourself. If you don't do it, everybody's getting one of their eyes gouged out. Slaves don't need 2 eyeballs. Okay, so someone set their pigs free. And everyone's pointing at the little girl. Basically, Ymir. They're all pointing at Ymir. Are you the one who released the pigs? And keep in mind, we're not seeing Ymir's eyes. We're just seeing these silhouettes, these dark sort of silhouettes. We're not seeing we're basically, it's blank basically. We're not seeing what her eyes look like. And yeah, she seems kind of shocked by this. Everyone is pointing at her. All the adults are pointing at her. There's even children. There's like 2 children in the crowd as well, and they're pointing at her. She's looking at them. You can kind of see a little pupil there, maybe, sort of like she's looking at them like that. She's looking down, sort of this mean look at the dude, and she's getting on the floor. She's dropping basically to her knees, basically, I think. Maybe asking for forgiveness. Very well. And now we're cutting to page 8, and she's in the woods now. You are free. You are free. So they've set her free. She's in the woods, and we're seeing dogs going after her, and people on horses chasing after her. She's got an arrow in her shoulder, so something very bad has happened here. She's in the jungle, in the woods. She's yeah, these people. I think it's the barbarians. They're chasing her. They got bows and arrows. They got dogs with her. It's like a fox hunt basically, and they're chasing her. And there's blood coming down from her eyes. I think these might be tears actually, but she's running. She trips on a root. She trips on a root and she falls down. And there's another arrow. I think that's either missed her by chance, or it's hit her in the leg. And now we're getting the panel of this flower, and the blood is falling on the flower. She's looking at it. Yeah, just this expression of pain, I think, on her, or confusion. And she's looking up. And holy shit, what is this? So I think this might be the forest of giant trees, because she's looking up at this big, humongous tree, like holy crap. And it's got this hole in it, like this it looks like it's a passageway into a cave or something. She sees it. Oh, I'm gonna be honest, guys, it looks like the opening to a vagina. Okay, so there's your sexual sort of birth theme, if you will. She's going into it. She's going into the tree, which looks like it might be a cave as well, and there's a panel showing what she's stepping on. Oh, and she's fallen. There's no flooring there. She's gone into the cave and she's fallen. She's fallen down, and she's fallen into water. So she's dropped into some sort of lake or water, and she's trying to breathe. No dialogue here so far. She's fallen down and she's going down. We're seeing air bubbles, maybe perhaps blood, and okay, something weird's happening. She's falling down and there's something in the bottom there, and it looks like, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a tree root, but it's shaped like a spine. And there's a bulb at the top that might be a head, and then you've got the legs or the nerves or the veins or something or whatever. Like, this is it's really creepy looking actually. It almost looks like a worm with like legs. Actually, it looks like a centipede, and it looks like it's connected to the water floor, to the tree floor. I don't know. It looks like a root maybe. She's falling towards it. It does look like a worm or something, a parasitic sort of thing. She's falling towards it. Her back is towards me, so she's like falling, like, do you know what I mean, like that, and it's behind her. And as she's getting nearer to it, the veins or whatever come out, and they're starting to connect to her back, to her spine, basically. So this is really creepy. And then we're cutting to page 14, and there's the barbarian still searching for her, birds in the sky, and there's big smoke coming out, and we can see the tree, that big ass tree that she went into, and it's collapsing, and there's smoke coming out. So yeah, it seems all shocked, and from the smoke this giant is emerging now. So, and its rib cage is all out and that, like, and yeah, it's forming. There's Ymir, there's the founder, there's the progenitor titan. Holy shit, guys. Yeah, we just saw the origins of how Ymir became a titan. There was no deal with the devil. There was no devil giving her fruit. She was a slave. People blamed her for something she either didn't or did do. She ran for her life as they hunted her, and she went into this big ass tree that might be located in the tree of giant, in the forest of giant trees. Maybe not. I don't know if this is the same continent. I don't think it is, because remember, King Fritz took the people and went to Paradise Island. So this is probably not Paradise Island. This is probably the main continent back then when the Italians were in control. So keep that in mind. And yeah, she fell into this tree, and there was some sort of parasitic spine-looking centipede thing that connected with her, and boom, she's just turned into this. So we can see the skull forming, the ribs are open like that, you can see the bones. Very creepy looking, very yeah, it's just like, it's crazy. Like, holy damn, I didn't think this is what we would get. Like, holy shit. And now we're on page 16, and Ymir is kneeling down, I think, at the king now. I don't know who this is. I don't know if it's the same people or not. They look barbarian style. They got cloaks. He's wearing a helmet. It's got horns on it. Ymir, my slave, you've worked well. You opened the way, cultivated the land, and built bridges across mountains. Our tribe of Eldia has grown considerably larger. Okay, so she turned into a titan, and obviously she probably didn't attack anyone. They probably, I don't know. There's obviously some sort of there's obviously a gap here between when she turned into a titan and now. But they're saying that she's cultivated the land and helped build bridges. So if you guys remember what Grisha said, he said that when he was reading the pictures, whatever, it kind of he assumed that that's what it meant, that she built bridges and was helping the people, and that, like, she wasn't this terrible warrior or whatever. So that kind of ties back into that at the time. But we were shut off there for a second. Yeah, reading this chapter, we now know the truth. Like, she's a slave. I mean, she's even being referred to as a slave. So she's a titan and she's a slave to this dude. Yeah, she's still kneeling down, hands like that. She's clutching. Here is your reward. You will bear my children. Jesus Christ. So this is the leader, or the king of Eldia, some Viking-looking arsehole. Ymir's his slave, and now this dude saying she's gonna bear his children. In the name of the Fritz. In the name of the Fritz. So now we get into, this is page 17 by the way, guys, and we're still continuing with this. This next panel, after he said this, when we're looking down, we're seeing this big spread. It's Ymir, and she's got a skull face, by the way. This is her actual form. She's got a skull face. It looks like death, basically, and the ribs, or the yeah, it's not ribs anymore. I don't know if you would call it exposed ribs, but it looks like tentacles because they're actually going into the ground. I mean, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, I assume there might be nine ribs or tentacles, sort of like, do you know what I mean, like you were born from the rib of Adam or something. Maybe they would have been a tie into that, but no, that's not the case. No, this is just like ribs or tentacles protruding out from here, and they're actually going to the ground, and she's towering over this massive army that's with her, and they're basically below her, and she's reaching out towards this other army that's facing her. So I think this is the Marleyans. In the name of the Fritz, destroy the accursed Marleyans. So yeah, this is the Eldians fighting the Marleyans in ancient times. And she's smashing them down. So yeah, she's killing them. And the leader, I think the guy who's leading the attack, he's got like a... Let me go back and see if everyone else is wearing the same helmet. No, this is the leader with the helmet. So the dude on the horse leading the charge, he's got a feathered helmet in it. And that's his head on a spike right now that the king, I think, has, and he's bringing it. And there's other heads on spikes as well, so it's not just him, but he's the first one, obviously. And Ymir is on her feet following him. And now we're cutting to this other panel. Obviously the village, I think, is sort of being built, and then there's the army with spears and shields in the background, and there's Ymir sitting in a chair, and she's clearly pregnant. And this is pretty much a spitting image of what Historia looked like when we saw her during the time skip, and that's the only time we've seen her so far, I think, in present time, which is her being pregnant sitting on a farm, and it's the exact same look and shot right now. And there's a little small panel there, and it looks like she's given birth to a baby. And now we're cutting to page 19, and again she's in Titan form, smashing the enemy, sending people flying. Next panel, there's a first child. Obviously they're walking now, and she has a second baby now in her arms. Another panel, it looks like they've got more slaves and they're building things. The panel below that, Ymir has 3 children now. There's 2 kids, one's grabbing a rope and the other one's sort of shy, just walking beside her, and she's got a 3rd child in her arms, and there's soldiers between her, I think, acting as bodyguards. And she's looking ahead, and there's the king, and it looks like he's got like, I don't know if that's 4, if those are, he's got like 5 women taking care of him. I don't know if those are his other 5 wives or 5 different daughters from other people, but yeah. And now we're cutting to page 20, and the king standing up on his seat, basically on his seat. I don't know if this is outside or inside. And there's all these soldiers on the ground, and it looks like it might be the Marleyans because they got the feathered helmets, I think, and they're kneeling. I think they're probably pledging themselves to her. And there's Ymir with her children beside him. He's smirking, of course, and there's the Marleyans sort of kneeling there. There's the king. There's no dialogue here. It's just like quick flashes, really. Keep in mind, we don't see the children's eyes either, so they're sort of silhouetted and blacked out as well. Okay, things are getting interesting now. One of the soldiers has gotten up, and he's basically picked up a spear from the sand. I think this spear might have been hidden, because there's all the sand dripping off of it. So someone planted a spear there, and he's picking it up. Sand's dropping off. That's a great shot, by the way. So you guys need to, like, holy crap, you guys need to see this shot. Ymir is trying to protect the kids. The kids are backing up. She's putting her hands out. The king kind of seems surprised. Ymir's looking at the king. The dude throws the spear, and Ymir's just jumped in front of the king and taking the spear through her. Trying to think what position that would be. So that would be here. So it's gone through here and out. And she collapses. Yeah, she's collapsed, and the soldiers are capturing... Nope, they're stabbing the dude. The soldiers are getting up and they're stabbing the dude who threw the spear. Right, one of the dudes stabbing him through the... I think maybe someone else is stabbing him from the back. So there's at least 1 or 2 people stabbing this dude. This could be Helios maybe, but I don't think so. But because of the whole propaganda thing, maybe, you know, that the guy who they said is Helios and killed the Titan, maybe this is actually him. I don't know. But yeah, Ymir's just fallen on the ground. The spear launched in her. Page 23, the kids and the king looking at her. Ymir on the floor, It's interesting that all of their eyes are sort of blacked out. We're not really getting a good look at their eyes here. The king's looking at her, she's looking at him. Close up of her eyes. And now we're getting page 24, and the king's like, "What are you doing?" The kids are basically on the floor now, and they're like, I think that they're just upset. It looks like they're very upset at their mom potentially died. "What are you doing? Get up. I know you did not die by that spear. Get up and work. This is the reason you were born into this world. Our slave, Ymir." Yeah, she's not getting up. I don't know if she's actually dead or not. We know that can't kill you, right? Because you're supposed to heal from that. So page 25, and it's a close-up of Ymir with her eyes closed. Flowers again, blood dripping on it. Eyes closed, and it's just fading until there's just Ymir alone, standing in darkness. And now it's opening up a bit, page 26. The darkness is sort of going out, and I think she's in the past dimension. Yeah, it looks like she's in the past dimension now. And holy god, this is fucked up. We're getting the panel below that. Someone's just used a meat cleaver to cut a hand off. And now we're getting a panel of the king. "Eat, my daughters. Whatever it takes, you must inherit Ymir's power." Page 27. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Oh god. Guys, do you remember season 2's ending, yeah? Do you remember season 2's ending? Do you remember that shot of what looked like a bunch of like people behind a king and his two daughters, well, 3 daughters, what it looked like, and they were eating someone, like a skeleton, they were eating someone, yeah, that's pretty much that's the exact same shot that's happening here right now. There's the king, he's got his arms around 2 of his daughters and the one in the middle, and yeah, a lot of the theories that we had at the time are pretty much confirmed here. These 3 daughters are Sheena, Rose, and Maria. Whoa Sheena, whoa Rose, whoa Marina. There you go, guys. Those walls are named after these 3 girls who are daughters of Ymir. Eat all of Ymir until nothing is left. And holy Christ, this scene is gory. I mean, there's a hand, there's a foot. There's Ymir's hair and what remains of her torso, all ribbed and skeleton-like. It's disgusting, man. And they're eating her. Kids are eating her. They don't look, I mean, I can't really tell. The eyes are blacking out, but at least from the mouth expressions, they do not look happy. And then I think the last panel below is of Ymir in the dimension. And now she sees the light, basically, that tree of life, or the tree of light, if you will. You can see, and there's these 3 lines are shot out, 1, 2, 3. So I'm thinking these lights, I'm thinking this is the Titan power, and the 3 lights going in different directions like a route represent her daughters basically having gotten powers of the of the founder Titan, basically. And now we see the king, he's in bed, one of the girls is touching his hand. "My daughters, continue to give birth to many children and raise them. We can't let Ymir's blood die out." And now we're seeing a shot of a baby being born. People are raising it and praising and screaming in joy. So yeah, keep in mind about the tree. Okay, there's 3 lines of this light, basically. I don't know if it's a tree or a light, but 3 lights shot out of it. And it looks like we're going to the next page now. So if that was page 28, this is page 29. And yeah, we're in the paths dimension. There's the sand, and above it there's the light, and now it's like tree roots, and there's like multiple tree roots now, like going in different directions, like so yeah, it looks like it is a tree of light or whatever forming. And in the middle of this panel we got a shot of basically all the Titan shifters. "When you, my daughters, die, let my grandchildren eat your spine. When my grandchildren die, those spines will be passed down from children to children, even in the afterlife. Eldia shall rule this world with its Titans." And now we're seeing the Titans. So the first one is obviously the Colossal Titan. And then below, obviously he towers over all the other Titans, and below we have the Armored Titan, we have the Warhammer Titan with long hair and big ass giant spear, not a hammer but a spear. And behind the Warhammer Titan, I assume, is the attacking Titan, because it's got this sort of, oh no, I think that might be the Beast Titan actually, because it is sort of hairy in that. And then in front of these 2 we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the female Titan running, and next to her I assume is the attacking Titan. and then in front of the female Titan is the cart Titan. I mean, honestly, looking at it, I would say it's the Beast Titan because it does look like an animal, but I think it's clearly the cart Titan because it's got that horse look face of it and hair on the top as well. And in front of the horse Titan, next to what I assume is the attack Titan, is the jaw Titan. Like, it's got a skull face, but its mouth is wide open, and they're basically, and then in front of them there's people running, who I assume are the Marlians, and they're basically running after them. Like, so yeah, this is an epic shot, but like, god damn. Page 30. And now, yeah, that light that we saw that started with 3 lights, now it's like multiple lights just going off in the direction. So yeah, bloody crazy. Gonna stop here, guys, again. So yeah, there's the light in the background, and there's like multiple colossal titans, and there's Ymir on a wall, and she's pouring that thing on her feet. She's obviously creating it. And what's the dialogue? This is the king's dialogue, obviously. And they shall continue to reign forever, so long as our reign knows no end. So yeah, I think this is pretty much Ymir building the walls and the colossal titans inside it. And next to that panel, this is a spread page, by the way. I think it's page 30. And I think this is Eren now, and he's saying, and there's someone here there. Like, I don't know who he's talking to. That's it. And now we're back to Eren now. Oh, he's caught. He's page 31. It's Eren, and he's basically just got Ymir in a chokehold, or he's grabbed Ymir like that. That's it. I'm gonna put an end to this world. Lend me your strength. Wow. Holy shit! And Eren's hand is bleeding. Like, what's going on there? I think those are from the chains. You are not a slave. You're not a god either. You're just a human being. Eren has dropped on his knees and he's holding her like, and he's shouting at her, you don't have to serve anyone. You're free to choose. And there's Zeke in the background, rushing forward. What did you say, Eren? You say that you're going to end this world? Yeah, Zeke looks bloody shook and he's running. Stop it. What are you trying to do? And yeah, Eren's just like, you're the one to decide. Yeah, he's holding Ymir and his hands are bleeding. I think he's up on the chains when he has to pull him out. You choose whether you want to stay here forever or end it. And there's Zeke shouting, what are you doing, Ymir? Do as I ordered you to. I'm telling you to take away from Ymir's subjects their ability to reproduce. Do it immediately. And he's reaching out. He's basically reaching Eren now, and he's in panic. He's in panic right now, and he's reaching out like, Ymir. And there's Eren. Just he's got these. His eyes have turned from anger to sadness now. He's just like, it is you who led me all the way here. He's asking her that. And here's just Zeke losing it. I am a descendant of the royal family. And Eren's just like, you have been waiting all this time. Yeah, he's asking her this. And there's Zeke reaching since 2,000 years ago for someone. He's almost pitting her. I think he's pretty much seen her life and what it was, and he's here to set her free now. He's holding her gently, and now we're getting a close-up shot of Ymir for the first time, and we're seeing her eyes, and it's just a little girl, man. It's just a little girl crying. She's just crying in sadness, like. And there's Eren just saying, you know, you've been here. I wonder if this is the connection to the first chapter. Remember, guys, the first chapter opened with a bunch of flashbacks, and then we open with Eren, young Eren, crying. And now you've got future Eren in the past dimension holding Ymir and basically saying, since 2 years ago, for someone, you've been waiting for someone to free you, is that it? And there's Ymir crying. I wonder if this is the connection from this moment to that. And that's why Eren was crying at the time, like, holy god, like, it's just coming back full circle, guys, like, oh my god, it's just coming full, like, Isayama did it. Think about it, like, oh my god. Think about it, right? The tree, the goddamn tree, that giant-ass tree. From the very beginning, yeah, when we were introduced to the tree, you know, to the giant, you know, forest of trees, we always wondered what those bloody trees were. And remember, Kruger even said that Ymir touched the life source of everything, like the life source of everything or whatever. We always wondered what that meant. Like, surely it couldn't have just been, oh, Ymir actually met the devil and got the powers. No, it had to be something else. And yeah, pretty much confirmed that, yeah, this whole time it had to do with something inside a tree. And potentially this was some sort of parasite, some sort of ancient parasitic creature. I mean, if you look it up, right, yeah, if you look it up, there is a parasite that looks like a spine. Literally, it looks exactly like this thing in the manga chapter, and it's called a hallucinian, hallucinogen, HALLUCIGENIA, hallucinogen. Let me turn my Google Translator. Let me see if I can. Hallucigenia. So that's what it's referred to. Hallucigenia. So yeah, guys. That's what this thing looked like. Hallucigenia. I saw people commenting on this, and I wondered what the hell it was. Like when they were trying to explain this, and yeah, I think they're right. I think what they were trying to explain, I think they're correct. Whoever it was that posted this, it does look like a hallucigenia. Whatever this thing is, it's some sort of spine worm parasitic creature, and then it connected with her, and boom, that's what happened. How it works, I don't know. Maybe some sort of alien or whatever. But the point is, we've got the origin of the Titans. We've got the origins of Ymir, the origins of how the Eldians became what they were, and the truth behind it all. And yes, they were basically rapists and slavers. There was nothing good about them. Ymir, yeah, made bridges and everything for her people, but she was a slave. Okay, she didn't do this shit willingly. She was a slave when she did this, and her children, forced by her father, ate her body to take those powers, and their grandchildren, etc, etc, and it split her powers into 9 parts. And if you think about it, yeah, each child, you know, you've got 3 daughters, and each one of them has a kid. That kid eats them, that would turn into 6, and the kids would eat them, vice versa, that would turn into 9. So yeah, it does add up. Like, that's how it goes. So the daughters, Ymir, the granddaughters, the daughters, the granddaughters, and their granddaughters. So yeah, like, oh, that's how the powers split, man. Like, it's insane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously if they had 3 daughters, if they had kids, that would have, or 2 children each, boom. So you kind of see how it would spread. But yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. Like, it's nuts. But it's crazy, man. Like, I can't believe it. Like, all the details in there. Like, this stuff was foreshadowed years ago, and here we are at this point, and it's like, it's confirming all of our theories in there. Like, it's nuts. So yeah, page 36, and we're cut into present time where we left off when Eren got his head blown off. And this is such a creepy panel here. Zeke's got Eren's head, right, that he caught, and right now, I don't know if this is Eren's. No, this is Eren's head. Eren's head has just sprouted a spine, like a centipede. I'm gonna say centipede because that's what it looks like. It's a freaking centipede, and its legs are the nerves, and it's sprouting up for him, and it's reattaching to its body, and there's all the blood as it's connecting into it. Or did this come out of Eren's body and reattach to his head? I don't know how it works, but it's creepy as shit. And at the same time as this happens, the wall is breaking. Okay, there's cracks forming in the wall, and it's breaking down. We're on page 37, and there's Armin about to shoot that missile, and there's Mikasa coming in for the kill as they're trying to take down the card titan. But, you know, the walls are breaking. As they're trying to do that, the wall just breaks, and everyone is caught by surprise. Pickens is caught by surprise. Armin and Mikasa are like, what? And there's McGough, and there's, who's this right here? I think that's Flock as well. So obviously them lot are on the wall as well, and they're experiencing this. There's Gabby falling from the force of the shot, obviously, when she shot Eren, and she's falling on the floor. And as this happens, the wall is breaking behind her, like, it's breaking there. And she's looking up, she's like, what? And there's Reyna on the ground, his fist healing. And there's Jean and Connie, like, they're not even focusing on Reyna now. They're all 3 of them are looking up, and they're like they're shocked. And yeah, we're getting this big, massive page spread now, page 39, and all the walls are breaking down now. Like, holy shit. All the walls are breaking, and we're seeing Reyna, and he's just shouting Gabby, and there's Reyna reaching out for her as Gabby's on the floor looking up, as the walls behind her break, and we're seeing all the colossal titans lined up, and they're not facing outwards. This is important, they're not facing outwards like we thought they would be, as you know, when the walls break they're gonna go out. No, they're facing inwards towards the wall. I've been saying for a while now that and we knew this already, guys. Remember from I want to refer to the anime, the last episode of season 1, and or the beginning of season 2, we see the Titan on the wall, and it's looking inwards, not outwards. It's looking inwards, and yeah, it looks like, yeah, they're looking inwards. The walls are collapsing. The colossal Titans, or the wall Titans, or whatever, are waking up. Gabby's right there in the middle of it, and there's Eren turning into his Titan form, because it's turning into a big ass skeleton, and there's light coming out of it. It can't be, page 40, it can't be stopped anymore. It can't be stopped anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, holy crap. The wall has fallen, the walls have fallen, the rumbling has officially begun. Okay, the thing that's been set up for years has finally come to pass, and yeah. It's crazy as hell, man. It is crazy as hell. Like, I can't believe it that we're at this point, but there you go. It's nuts. It's nuts, man. I don't know what to say, like, just, utter craziness, man. Utter craziness. Oh my god. Oh my god, man, like, what a chapter. What a chapter. Isayama has done it. This is hands down the best chapter of volume 30. You know, so much was answered in just, like, such a short amount of time. So much was answered. So much was clarified. We've been hoping for months and years to get a backstory in Ymir. And the truth of it is, we always had the backstory set up from the beginning, you know, with ending 2 from season 2. And little hints in there about the, you know, like the source of all life that Ymir came in contact with. You know, it's all been there, like, and now it's all been put together, and there you go. This is actually what happened. Ymir was a slave, man. She was a slave, and she was forced to do all of this crap for Eldians. They really are pieces of shit. And yeah, like, and Ymir wasn't even an Eldian, I think. Like, it looks like she was a Marleyan who was turned into a slave. Which properly suggests, which is the crazy thing, because if she's a slave of Eldia, then that suggests that the Titans came from a Marleyan, or technically originated from a Marleyan. So yeah, it's nuts when you think about it. The revelation, if that is the case, is insane. Like, what does that mean, and what does this mean for the rest of the manga now? Like, what's gonna happen next? We still don't know where Levi and Hanji are. That plane hasn't made an appearance yet. Yeah, guys, like, sorry again, I'm back, but yeah, guys, I'm just trying to put this all together. Like, I'm kind of shook up by this chapter. Like, I didn't think we would get this. Like, and here it is. Like, you know, bright as day. Like, here it is. Like, it's just nuts. Like, I never thought we would get this kind of chapter, but there you go. Like, I'm just excited, man. Like, I'm excited. I didn't think this would happen. I knew that this volume would have to end with it going back to the present time, and with Eren probably succeeding, but the fact that we ended up getting Ymir's backstory like that, like randomly, like, I didn't think any of us even thought that would happen, and there you go, it happened, and it's like, holy shit, like, it's nuts. It's nuts. But yeah, it's such a good chapter, and I can't wait for next month. The wait for this is going to be painful, okay guys? The wait for this is going to be very painful. And since this is the end of volume 30, it means that next chapter, 123, is going to be the beginning of volume 31. And now that the rumbling has occurred, it makes me wonder how many chapters we have left, because this does feel like a final battle now. Like, this is what it's been leading to, the rumbling. The entire attempt for the opposition was to stop the rumbling from happening, and Eren's goal was to start the rumbling, and now he's achieved it. And now the question is, where is this going to lead? What's the end goal of all of this now? What's going to happen with all of our characters? Are they going to die? Are they not? Like it's crazy. And does this mean we only have one volume left? Which means, do we have only 4 chapters left? Or are there still 2 volumes to go? Meaning 8 chapters, and that this manga is going to officially end in June? Or is it going to end in February? I hope June, guys. I hope June, because then that's a good time for season 4 of the anime to kickstart in the summer as well. So the manga ends at the beginning, just before summer, and then boom, yeah, we get the anime to sort of conclude itself as well. So that would be a good way to promote each other. If it ends early next year, that would be that'll be too much, I think, because there's so much that needs to happen now. There's so much development that needs to happen, especially this. Like, so I do think next volume is just going to be an entire focus on the rumbling itself, and then the final volume 32 is just going to be like, because I honestly do believe we have only 8 chapters left now, and that volume 32 is just going to be this big epic epilogue final fight, not battle, fight, conclusion. So we're going to get the final battle starting next month, and then by early next year we're going to get like a final fight or something in the epilogue, and that's going to be the end of Attack on Titan. But yeah, this is the end game, guys. We are officially in the end game, and it's crazy. And I can't wait to see what happens next, man. I'm excited. But yeah, guys, I hope you liked this. I hope you liked my reaction to this. I am sorry for not, you know, posting usual as I do. This time I'm going to try and keep up with it, because yeah, these chapters are just getting good now. They're getting really, really, really intense and good. It's crazy how good it's gotten, and it's still getting. So yeah, I can't wait, man. Anyway, guys, as always, like and subscribe wherever, and I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care. And yeah, may the rumbling be with you guys. Like, I can't wait for next month, man. I can't wait. I hope to see you there too, man. Take care, guys.